Hiya and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to start a new country overview video because while I was researching my next two videos I realised I was going to have to set the groundwork for two new countries. So stay tuned for the video after this as well. But today we are going to be talking about the brief overview of the Emerald Isle, the one and only Ireland. While not as big as the mainland consisting of Scotland, England and Wales, Ireland is an island nation on the westernmost edge of Europe. It is the continent's second largest island and has just as wide a history of conflicts and traditions as any other country. The Republic of Ireland occupies 80% of this landmass, while the remaining chunk of land in the north is part of the United Kingdom as Northern Ireland. Ireland is known for its wide expanse of lush green fields. In fact, its name is the Emerald Isle because of this. But there's also large rugged rocky landscapes as well. About 15,000 years ago, Ireland was completely covered in thick glaciers. The movement of these giant sheets of ice stripped the soil, leaving huge tracts of flat limestone pavement. The Midlands and west coast of Ireland are dotted with damp peat bogs, the soggy remains of dried up ancient lakes left behind by the glaciers. Ireland's highlands rise mainly in the southwest, often ending in sheer cliffs and drops, and plunge thousands of feet into the Atlantic Ocean. For most of its history, Ireland's economy has been based on farming and agriculture, which would make sense when you've got so much green land to go through. But since the late 1950s, government efforts to attract business has turned the country from one of Europe's poorest nations to the second wealthiest. The amazing turnaround has earned Ireland the nickname the Celtic Tiger. The government of Ireland consists of an elected parliament, which makes the laws, and a president who is head of state. The head of the government is called the Taoiseach, which means chief. The Taoiseach is the leader of the political party with the most parliament members. Archaeologists think the first people began to settle in Ireland arrived around 6000 BC to 3500 BC. Settlers were using stone tools to clear farmlands. Around 700 BC, a diverse and technologically advanced culture from Central Europe called the Celts, or the Celtic Britons as we also know them from our previous videos, began to settle the island. They would thrive there for nearly 2000 years. Undisturbed. And then, in the 9th century AD, Viking invaders began to raid into Ireland. They established settlements, and that later became some of the country's main cities, including the capital, Dublin. The Vikings and Celts fought often for 200 years until a battle in 1014 united the country. Peace broke down quickly though, and then Ireland was divided into many kingdoms again. In 1170, Norman Vikings, who had taken control of England, invaded Ireland as well, and made it an English territory. Fast forward into the early 1600s, England's official religion became Protestant, while most Irish remained Roman Catholic. This would end up creating massive tensions that would eventually lead to a revolution and then Ireland's independence. By the 1820s, the British laws were still unfair to Catholics, and had sparked massive movement for Irish sovereignty. In 1829, many of those laws were overturned, but Ireland still wanted freedom. In 1922, after violent uprisings, the Irish Free State was created within the British Empire. This ends up becoming known as the Partition of Ireland, which was a process by the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, who then divided Ireland into two self-governing polities, Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. It was enacted on the 3rd of May 1921 under the Government of Ireland Act 1920. The Act intended both territories to remain within the United Kingdom and contained provisions for their eventual reunification. So they were never meant to be split for very long. Great Britain and the UK wanted them to merge back together eventually. The smaller Northern Ireland was duly created with a devolved government, or Home Rule, and remained part of the UK. The larger Southern Ireland was not recognised by most of its citizens, who instead recognised the self-declared 32-county Irish Republic. On the 6th of December 1922, a year after the signing of the Anglo-Irish Treaty, the territory of Southern Ireland left the UK and become the Irish Free State, now the Republic of Ireland. The territory that had become Northern Ireland within the Irish province of Ulster had a Protestant and Unionist majority who wanted to maintain ties to Britain. These were largely due to 17th century British colonisation, however it also had a significant minority of Catholics and Irish nationalists. The rest of Ireland, though, had a Catholic nationalist majority who wanted self-governance or independence, which was the cause of the split. Ireland became a fully independent republic in 1937, and then by 1949 they had no ties left to the United Kingdom at all. Following this, there is a basic sort of timeline for the country up to the split and then including the split. So Ireland can be separated in 10 ages of key points, which are prehistory, which is 10,500 BC to 600 BC, very long time ago. The Iron Age, which is 600 BC to 400 AD. Early Christian Ireland, 400 AD to 800 AD. Early medieval and Viking era, 800 AD to 1169. Norman Ireland, 1169 to 1536, early modern Ireland, 1536 to 1691, the Protestant ascendancy, 1691 to 1800, the Union with Great Britain, 1801 to 1912, and the Home Rule, Easter Rising and War of Independence, which is 1912 to 1922. From this date, this is where the split happened. So you then contain 1922 to the present day for the Free State and the Republic of Ireland, and then 1921 to present day for Northern Ireland. From the split, although they were still all Irish and part of the same landmass, everything becomes very different for both sides. So in future videos there'll be some that only apply to the north of Ireland and some to the Republic of Ireland, although there are still some recent history that affected both sides, like the Troubles, which although most people know that this was primarily in Northern Ireland in the late 1960s to 1998, this did spill into the south as well, and actually started long before in the 1600s when the two still had a shared history and background. So there might be a bit of back and forth on some subjects as well for future videos, just because of how complicated Ireland as a whole's history actually is. But I hope you like my brief overview of Ireland. It has a lot of interesting history that I can't wait to get into with you. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe to the channel. Have a lovely day and I will see you all again soon. Bye!